I am live. Share your screen. Wait a minute. Oh, my camera is hidden. There we go. There we go. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. This is my first time using YouTube live. When I was going live before, I was using StreamYard. So I'm a little rusty, but I am trying to work out the kinks. Also, as you can see, this microphone is not wanting to cooperate, but it's okay. All is well. I hope that everybody that is fasting today is having a wonderful fast day. My day has been a little rough, but it was kind of self-inflicted. I'm just lighting me some incense. Alexa reminded me to drink my water. I'm going to turn her off because she will tell all my business on here. I have her set to remind me of a lot of things. My husband, my son, myself, we all have reminders for our medication with Alexa, and to breathe, because sometimes we forget to do that. And she reminds me, I got that tip from a good friend when we were having our vision board party, that she has Alexa to remind her to breathe. So I did the same thing. And sometimes I listen to her and sometimes I don't. But more times than not, I'm more apt to do it when I get a reminder for it. So it's still working out. I am just gonna hang out for a minute or so and see if anybody pops in. And if not, that's okay. I still have some talking points, and hopefully you guys can catch it on the replay. And I'm lighting my candle that I got from my mama. It is called Balance, Aromascape Balance. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it smells amazing. So let me tell you a little bit about my fasting day, how it started out. First of all, I'm doing some research. And when I get my mindset on something, I am almost manic to a degree about it. Like I want to know all the things and things like that. So I'll research something to death just to when trying to make a decision. So I spent all day yesterday researching a certain topic and just trying to decide what my next phase of life is looking like. And when I was, time just got away from me. So, nevertheless, I never went to bed. My son got up for school at 6 o'clock this morning and he was like, "What are you doing up so early?" I said, "Because I never went to bed." So, I went to bed probably about 10 to 12 or 1 just so I could prepare for the live. And I tossed and turned. So I took a shower to freshen up and here I am. So anyway, let's get to talking about fasting day. I got a couple of talking points wrote down that I wanted to share with you guys. And the first one is the reason why I decided to do alternate day fasting. So I have over the past year or so done years actually on and off done. I'm gonna take this off and hold it just to make sure that hopefully you all are getting a good sound from this. Um, so anyway, I have over the years tried different fasting methods, the 16 and 8, 18 and 6, 20 and 4. Most recently, the last few months, I was doing OMAD, and like I would lose temporarily, but of course, my mental health wasn't in a good state either. So it's not really good for me to gauge how well I would have done if I was in a better space mentally. But nevertheless, here I am in a better space mentally because a lot of the things I had going on back then have settled down, and I'm able to focus on my health and my weight. And so then I started ADF and started researching about ADF. And I have a friend and coworker from my last job. His name is Lamont Tonge, and I have his book over here as well for a book recommendation, as well as some others that I wanted to share with you guys. But I decided back when he was talking to me about intermittent fasting, and that's what his book is based on, intermittent fasting. So it's a really good read for people who are trying to get started. And let me go ahead right now while I'm talking about it and show you his book. So this is a book that I highly recommend for people who are getting into intermittent fasting. This is Lamont's book. If I can do it, so can you. How I lost 115 pounds in 1 year. And let me show you the full cover. So this is trying to get it. Okay. This is his before and after. So he looks amazing, and he has advocated for intermittent fasting the to so many people at work, and try to encourage people that this is the way to go. And he has sustained his weight loss for years now. I'm not sure how many, but like, he has done such a great job. So I do have the link to his book as well as the others in the description box of my videos, and I will add it to this live once I get it put up. So he would talk about going like days without fasting, and I'm thinking at that time, there's no way. Not days without fasting, going days fasting, like a 72-hour fast, 36-hour fast, and all those things. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way that I could go that long without eating. And so when I went back to look into ADF, and I was first introduced on YouTube to ADF by Colleen Marie Care's YouTube channel, and I just bought her book as well. So I'm going to show you that. I'm excited to get to read this. It's the Fast to Feast ADF Guide by Colleen Marie Turner with Ava Monroe. And she talks about her book on her channel. And her book is also linked in the description box. So she's already lost her weight, and she is maintaining it. She looks amazing, and she is really knowledgeable on ADF. And I really started, like, I could really resonate with alternate day fasting through a lot of the things that she said. She's done a lot of lives on ADF and getting through fast and helped people. So I just was like, well, let me try it. And I had been doing OMAD, and I got introduced to that on YouTube. Now, Lamont had talked to me about all this stuff before when we were working together, but I found the YouTube channel for Fasting Foodie, and she talked about OMAD. So I was doing that for a while, and that would work. Sometimes it just depends on my feast day, which Colleen talks about is like the most important thing, is really not your fast day, it's your feast day, because you can overdo it and ruin all your results on your feast day. And that's what I was doing with OMAD. So I know, just based on my life, that I have had a very unhealthy relationship with food. And it was really, really bad, to where, at my heaviest, I was 372 pounds. And then had, in 2007, I had lap band surgery. So I got down to 204 at my lowest as an adult. And then got pregnant in 2010. I think about the year, in 2010, and gained like 90 pounds back. And it's just kind of been up and down since then. But this last 3 years, I was in the midst of a nervous breakdown, and I gained like 40, 50 pounds back, and I'm trying to lose that plus some. So once I decided that OMAD wasn't for me, and the reason OMAD wasn't for me is because I was still found myself, because you're still eating every day, one meal a day, but I would find myself overindulging in my one meal a day. And so I'm like, this is not working either. What's going to work for me? I knew I didn't want to go back to Weight Watchers. I just did not want to count and weigh and measure, and I didn't want to do none of that anymore. So what I ended up doing was biting the bullet and trying ADF. And I've only been on it since, April the 1st. So we're only 2 weeks in. So this is for um me to share my journey with you, because I have not, I have not arrived, of course. I have not arrived yet. So when I first started ADF, the first 2 weeks, I did the what they call modified ADF, and there's some controversy about that. But what I would do is I would fast on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I would feast on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and I would do one meal a day on Sunday. But on my fasting days, the modified part, that's where this comes in at. I would eat a 500 calorie meal just to get me through the day. And one day I was so busy that it was like 7 or 8 o'clock. I hadn't gotten hungry. I hadn't eaten. And I knew that day that I did not want to eat that late, because that would push my fasting back. So I'm like, I mean, it's almost time for me to go to bed. So I'm just going to go to bed. I'm not even going to eat today. So when I woke up the next day, I was like, I survived. I survived. So let me try it again on my next fasting day. And I did. And it worked. So I just have continued to push on through my fasting days. And when I realized that what kept me fasting and not eating that day was the fact that I was busy. I was so busy that I didn't even think about food. I wasn't hungry. I just made sure that I stayed hydrated, which, by the way, Alexa done told me to drink my water, and I did not. So I'm gonna take me a little sip. This is a glass with affirmations on it that my son bought for me. I'm trying to get it lined up. And it says, "You are beautiful." And all of these things refer back to a scripture as well. "You are beautiful, victorious, enough, strong, never alone, amazing, capable, chosen, created, and always loved." He's 13, y'all. And he knows his mama well, because affirmations, I strongly believe in speaking life into yourself. And I strongly believe in speaking life into my son so that he knows who he is when the world tries to tell him different. So, back to fasting. Just trying to make sure this mic is still working. Um, so that's why I chose alternate day fasting, is because it just really aligned with everything in my life at the time. And the schedule aligned. My husband, I mentioned, has had a heart transplant, and he can only eat, he just had it January 23rd of this year. So we're brand new to the journey. But he can't eat food over 24 hours old because of the risk of bacteria and him getting sick. If I got food poisoning, they said that I would just end up in the bathroom for some time. But for him, it would put him back in the hospital. So it's just not worth the risk. So I had to also develop another method. This is before I even started fasting the 1st of April, to ensure that I could make sure that he had that, where he didn't have to have leftovers, because we're a leftovers family. I don't cook every day, and I don't desire to cook every day. And I'm the main cook in my home. So I had to figure things out. So, like, how am I going to do this and make sure that he has what he needs? Because that's the priority, but also that it doesn't have me just in the kitchen all the time. So what I discovered was freezer meals, and that has changed the game for me. And it's just so funny how things align, because once I discovered freezer meals, shortly after that I discovered ADF, and I'm like, they go together. And how do they go together? Well, first of all, it keeps me from having to be the only cook, because all hands on deck. I need everybody in here helping me cut up chicken, cut up vegetables, weigh stuff, measure stuff. We're cooking together as a family. It's not just me cooking. And when I first started this, I literally went like no holds barred for like a week straight, stayed up almost 2 straight days in a row, uh, preparing those freezer meals, and got them all done. And now it's just like, I don't even have to, that also keeps my mind off of food all the time. I don't have to focus on food, food, food. So it really aligned, the freezer meals really aligned with the alternate day fasting. So I was very thankful that I discovered that when I did as well. So moving on, we let's see. So anyway, that's why I decided to do alternate day fasting, is because it just aligned with my lifestyle, and I felt like that it was healing my relationship with food at the same time, because I did not have to constantly think about food, and I regained control over food. So when I realized that food doesn't control me, I control it, it just changed the game for me. And I haven't even like been in it long enough to see results yet, but I know those are coming. Like the fruits of my labor will come. I'm not going to be a slave to, now don't get me wrong, I weigh myself every day and I shouldn't, but I'm not a slave to it. I don't let it stress me out or overwhelm me or upset me or deter me. I just use that as a catalyst to keep pushing. Like, oh, I know the weight is coming off. It's gonna work. And it's just a matter of time. And I'm willing to dedicate the time to that. So I have fallen in love with ADF. That's how I feel about it. It is the fasting method that has worked for me. Now, the other fasting methods, I would recommend you try those before just jumping into ADF, and making sure that you ease your way into it. You don't want to just say, okay, I'm going to do ADF, and then your first time ever having experience with intermittent fasting is with ADF, because I just feel like that would be a deterrent. It's going like from 0 to 100. You need to work your way up to that. And I did it that way. Didn't even realize that's where I was going with things, but so thankful that I have found this space. So how do I get through my fasting days? Because that's what today is, right? Now I don't know if this is a fasting day for everyone, but I fast on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So it is a fasting day for me. And I had mentioned in another video that the reason I chose Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to be my fasting day is because it's just kind of a thing in my home where we do Taco Tuesday, and we just do different, types of, Mexican meals on a Tuesday. So I wanted my n- new lifestyle to align with Taco Tuesday. I mean, every everyone is different. So you have to find out what works for you. And it may not even be ADF. It could very well be, you may find that a different intermittent fasting method works for you. That's why you should work your way up until you find your sweet spot. Um, Something else that I did was join the gym. So I just went, hey, don't give me no credit. Don't give me no credit. I just went for the very first time yesterday. And I'm gonna work my way up to that too. But for those who have kids, I'm sure that you can relate when I say that as mothers, especially, we're more dedicated to doing things for our kids than we are for ourselves. So my son wanted to go to the gym, and exercise is not my thing. Like, I detest it. And I don't want to always feel that way. So that's something else that I need to work on. I want to enjoy exercise. And So I'm thinking, well, his dad wanted to get, he's working on his health and his heart, building that back up to where he was sick for 5 years. So initially, it was the plan that they were going to go to the gym together. Well, my husband has to do his cardiac rehab before he can join the gym, and that's through October. So my son's like, so are you going to go to the gym with me? Because he's only 13, so a parent has to go with him. I'm like, yeah, I guess so. So, because I want him to have a healthier relationship with food and his body image and all those things than I ever had. So that's why we went to the gym together for the very first time yesterday, and he rocked. So I'm so proud of him. So I'm gonna get, like, he's my motivation and inspiration. I'm watching him like, oh, I didn't know you had it in you, boy. You go ahead. So that's something new, is that I joined the gym. Um, so I wanted to talk about a fasting challenge, and I had put a poll up to see if anybody was interested in a fasting challenge, and I just got a couple of votes on it, but I decided to roll with it anyway. So if you're interested at any point in time on a fasting challenge with me, then I do have a where's my phone? I do have a fasting app that I am on, and it has fasting circle that you can join. And the link to my fasting circle will also be in the description box. So I want to show you what that app looks like. Now, sometimes I have done the Zero app as well to fast, but I like the life fasting just because we can connect on there. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know if you can see it or not. Uh, what it looks like. Oh, that's terrible because my light's on. Okay. Sorry, that didn't show up well, but I will have the link to it in my description box. And if you click on the link, it will take you directly to my circle, and we can fast together. So right now I am at, let me see. I just hit the 18-hour mark for my fast. I started late last night because we had dinner late. I try to have dinner before 6 o'clock. Um, Very latest, I want to be done by 7. But last night I didn't get done until 8:15. So it gave me a late start, and I'm doing a 36-hour fast. So I do have, let's see, I have 22. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I have, no, this ain't right. Yes. No, my fasting goal is, let me fix this. Okay, guys. Anyway, I'll worry about that later, but I will be done with my 36-hour fast tomorrow at 8:15 in the morning. And that will be my 36-hour fast. And I don't have breakfast, so the only thing that I would have anyway is my coffee with a tablespoon of sugar-free creamer. I usually have a salad for lunch, and then one of our freezer meals for dinner. And that's another reason why I love ADF, is because I don't have to count calories. I can just eat. Now, I'm mindful of what I eat. I'm very mindful of what I eat. I went and got some, like, I love caramel ice cream. And I'm like, caramel ice cream is not going to ruin this for me. But I don't want to fully deprive myself, because that's a recipe for me for disaster. So what I did was uh went and got some Carb Smart bars, and for 60 calories, I could have one bar, and they had a new flavor that was caramel. And I'm like, I've bought those many, many times in chocolate, but they now have it in caramel. So I just feel like they was there waiting for me to pick up. So that has like that's my fix for my caramel ice cream that still allows me to stay within a decent calorie allotment. Although I don't count calories, I do go with the when I'm purchasing something, I do try to go with the lower calorie version of it to align with my diet because my freezer meals, I have no idea. Like we just did went all the way out meal prepping with the freezer meals. So I didn't, nor do I want to calculate the nutrition for them. So because I'm just eating my freezer meals and I don't know how many calories are in that, I didn't want, I need to be mindful to keep my calories on the lower end most of the time. So I recommend to keep it simple because I have to, especially at the beginning. So I usually rotate, especially with my feasting days. I'm only eating 4 days a week. I keep it simple. I will have my coffee in the morning. I'll have a salad, and I do measure my cheese and bacon on my salad when I'm doing my meal prep because that's not going to deter me either. So I don't count calories, but I counted one time just to know this is how many calories this is in my salad, and really that's all I have unless I allow myself to have some snacks, and I do every now and again. So, um, what else did I want to talk to you about? The fasting day challenge. So, what the challenge is especially for people who are new to ADF. I want to start out just with the 36 hour challenge, and then we will move and evolve and grow from there. And I would like to get up to like a 7 day ADF challenge, but I'm just going to start with a 36-hour challenge, and it's going to start on Wednesday since we're already into our fasting for today. This was just kind of like a hey, let's chit chat while we're fasting today to try to get through the day and stay busy and get our mind off of, the fact that we're fasting. So that's the fasting challenge. On Wednesday, we will start our 36-hour fast. And I know that um, I don't know where everybody's from, so I don't want to say a certain time or anything. Just, drop me a comment. You can drop it in this live after I post it to let me know if you intend on doing the challenge with me so that I can cheer you on in the comments. And let's see, let's get through some of my book recommendations here too. So I showed you the Fast to Feast. I showed you the Fast to Feast with Colleen. I showed you Lamont's If I Can Do It, So Can You. Let's see. So, of course, most people who are in or knowledgeable about intermittent fasting, excuse me, know about the Jen Stevens. I bought two of her books. This is the Delay, Don't Deny. So I recommend this. And of course, her infamous Fast Feast Repeat. Fast Feast Repeat. So check those out. And the links to all of these books are in my description box. Now, these are not alternate day fasting books, but the links to these two books that I'm going to share are also in my description box. And I am reading them currently. I have not finished them, but I have read reviews and I believe that they're going to be very good on my healing journey. Because as I heal my relationship with food, that comes from within. Because I have tried, I've went to a holistic doctor to to discuss and try to work through my unhealthy relationship with food. And I had said I had a food addiction. I had never been clinically diagnosed with the food addiction, but I knew that there was something abnormal going on with me and my relationship with food, and I didn't know what it was. So I just assumed it was an addiction because it was abnormal, and not everybody dealt with this. Then I started saying, okay, well, I have an unhealthy relationship with food. I just know that there's something that food has done for me over the years that has I have went to it for comfort as I've had a lot of trauma in my life. So unhealed trauma, unaddressed trauma. And it was I would bury it, bury it, bury it, bury it. Every traumatic experience that I had been through, I just would keep pushing forward because I mean, what else do you do? Um, I'm sorry, bear with me for a minute. So I would keep pushing forward, but food would always be uh, a source of comfort for me. And that's how I got up to 372 pounds. And that's why I still battle with my weight as of today. I thank God for ADF. I really do. Um, but I'm getting a little bit off track. So these books are about healing. So my channel is an alternate day fasting journey. Like follow my journey, join me in my journey. Hey, let's fast together. Let's battle and conquer this issue that we have with food and weight and our health. Let's do this together because I am nobody's expert. I'm new to this, just like some of you, or you probably could possibly be further along in your journey, but I believe that we are stronger together than as one. So I want to cultivate a community of people that can inspire and uplift each other and heal at the same time, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like that all is intertwined for me. So, this book, When You're Ready, This Is How You Heal by Brianna Wiest, is also in my description box. My lighting is not okay. A ring light don't want me to be great, y'all. So, yeah, I'm currently reading this. This is one of them I'm currently reading, and there's a wealth of information. But the title itself, When You're Ready. When you're ready, this is how you heal. Like you have to be ready. Um, because I have tried over the years to heal and I just wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready. And what it took for me was to go within. And I had to isolate myself from everybody, like nobody but my core circle, and really not even them fully had access to me because I needed to heal me so badly. So badly. And I knew the only way to do that was to spend some time with myself because I had buried so much for so long. This was not in the plan. This was not in the plan. Sorry, guys. Whew. Um, so nevertheless, when you're ready, this is how you heal. And last but certainly not least, this is called How We Heal by Alexandra L. I discovered her on YouTube. She has a channel and I have binge watched her videos, and it has really I'm not going to get too deep because I'm triggering some feelings. I'm in some feelings here. Um check her channel out, check her book out. She is an amazing woman. So let's get back into it. Okay. So, one of the things that I wanted to also talk about is how to fast when you have a family. I have a small um, WhatsApp group, and that question came up the other day in our chat. Like, if you have kids, how do you, um, how do you do ADF when you have kids? Like, how are you guys, maintaining, and how does that work, or what does that look like for you? So this is how it works, and this is what it looks like for me in my home. Because on the days that now keep in mind that I'm the main cook in my home. Keep in mind that um my husband is not that great of a cook. So I'm cooking most of the time, but I absolutely refuse to cook on my fasting days. I'm not there yet. You know, I told y'all earlier I have not arrived. So will I ever? I don't know. If I don't have to, I'm not. But this is what it looks like for me. So the freezer meals are key, though, right? So this is what we do. On feasting days, I will cook. We'll have a freezer meal, and it's enough for about a day's leftover, right? Because he can have up to 24 hours. So he'll eat that evening. And we do leftovers in my house as much as we can now. So he so what they'll do on so I'm eating with them, say on Sunday. I eat with them on no, Sunday's one meal a day. Let's do it like this. I eat with them on Taco Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, when I'm fasting, they will eat the leftover tacos for dinner. They can reheat what we had the day before, and that's how it works for us. And then when it comes to, like, now keep in mind my son is 13, and so I don't have to, like, fix his plate. This may not work for people who have younger kids, but this is just my life, so I'm telling you what it looks like for me. So they're able to just have the leftovers the next day. And that's when I'm fasting, and I don't have to worry about another meal until the next day. Now, that evening of my fast, will pick out what we're having for the next day, and I will set it in the fridge to thaw so it's ready for me the next day to cook. That doesn't bother me. That's not a trigger for me, but I don't want to be in the kitchen cooking and not be able to eat. So I just anything that you can do to set yourself up for success, do that. And this is what works for me. And I don't want to you have to figure out what your priorities are. My husband and my family are absolutely my priority, but I have to be my priority too. And I have started setting boundaries even with them. Um, so they know that I won't cook. I'll make sure that you fed, but this is what you need to do. And you have to choose you. As women, we're not used to doing that. We are not used to doing that because we are nurturers and we are caretakers, right? So we will put somebody else ahead of us 10 times over. And when I decided that I had to choose me, um, my life transformed. I remember having a conversation with one of my very best friends in this world. And now one of them, I have three. Shout out to Neek, Crystal, and Tammy. I love all three of them. And I have cultivated a tribe for a reason. I have those women in my life for a reason. And I have finally discovered my worth after over the years, people had made me feel less than, unworthy. And when I finally discovered my worth and that I'm special and you have to earn access to me, you're not going to mistreat me. You are not going to treat me any kind of way, talk to me any kind of way. Um, think you can say whatever and come back and apologize and we're going to be cool again. No, those days are over in my life. So I have, I remember telling one of those three women that I had a health scare, and I was kind of I was kind of in the middle of it, and I was talking to her on the phone, and I was on my way to my therapist, um, and I was telling her that when it comes to it, when it comes to, I love you so much, I love you so much, and you know this, but if it's between me and you, I have to choose me. I have to choose me. And I told her, and what you need to know is that if it's between me and you have to choose you. You better choose you. You better choose you. And I don't judge you for that. I don't make you feel guilty for choosing you. Like some people have made me feel guilty for choosing me. Um, like I'm proud of you for choosing you because I know that she has come a long way herself. And when you suffer from being a people pleaser your whole life and you finally choose you, and like I didn't even know this was a thing. I thought people pleasing was normal. I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And it took some therapy from a very, very, very wonderful therapist that one of my best friends recommended to me. And he has helped me to heal. And I've done so much work on myself, but and I know that I may be getting off track here on this live, y'all, but I want to discuss different things with you guys that you may not have thought about before because all of this stuff goes together. Your mental health, because there is something, especially for us who have a unhealthy or poor relationship with food, there's something within. There's a reason why. And until you address that, you may continue to what's I don't want to I'm trying to find the right word. But you may continue to struggle. Let's say that. You may continue to struggle if you don't address it all. I had to address everything at the same time. Um and it took a long time. Like 3 years. I've been on this journey probably, well, no, since 2019, I think is when I started this journey. So it's about 5 years. And it started with me going on a spiritual journey and trying to figure out what that looked like for me and, what society thinks, is the right thing versus what really resonates with Demetra, no matter what anybody else thinks. So that kind of catapulted things. Um, and took me on a journey to where I am today. Like things have so much has happened to transform my life in the last year even, but definitely over the last 5 years that hey, I know who I am and I'm working on transforming myself into exactly who I want to become, right? So just remember to choose you, whether it's on fasting day and somebody wants you to go out to eat with them and you have to turn them down. That's choosing you. That is choosing you. And I had put pictures up all around my house to remind myself of my why. I've got I've got pictures of myself when I was the size that I want to be before I gained my weight back. So I have those pictures hanging on my refrigerator. They're hanging inside of my snack cabinet, in my bathroom, in my bedroom, actually in my garage on that refrigerator. Um, and it has helped me because before I can even open the fridge, I'm looking at her. She looking at me. She like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Girl, you right." So that is what I have done for me because I had to figure out what works for me. And what works for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for me. So you really need to go within. It all really goes back to here. Really is self-awareness. Self-awareness. So I know me so well now that I know what will set me up for success and what will set me up for challenge or for failure, right? So I'm not going to allow myself to fail. That's why after being off of YouTube for 3 years, I decided to come back and full weight gain and say, "Hey, I'm back. I'm gonna document my journey, but this time it's not gonna be Weight Watchers. It's gonna be alternate day fasting and fast with me." Is where we are today. So, I hope everybody will um, follow my journey and um, know that as we are fasting, as I am fasting, I also will be dealing with talking about possibly a lot of mental health things because there's a lot that I've been through in my life that have laid the groundwork for where I am today because we're all a product of our uh not environment experiences. We're all a product of our experiences. So I need a drink of water. Need a drink of water. We are all a product of our experiences. So my experiences have been very traumatic. And what they have taught me though is that without those, I would not be who I am today. That doesn't mean that I'm okay with some of the things that have happened, right? It means I accept that they happened, that I have no control over what happened. I can't change what happened. And all I can do is try to become the best version of myself through what happened and not let it to not allow it to destroy me. That's it. That's all. That's all I got. And just know that everything that was supposed to happen happened, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I really even believe that. I just said that. But I don't know. That's still listen. I have not arrived. I have not arrived. I'm still a work in progress, right? So there are things that I struggle with, like losing my son. He was 20 years old when he died in a car accident, and he will be gone 10 years in November. And his birthday is coming up May the 4th. He would have been 30 years old. He died when he was 20 years old. I had also lost my daughter to stillbirth 19 years ago. Her birthday was April 13th. I made a video and shared just a little glimpse of her birthday cake and talked a little bit about her. Um, so those two things alone are enough to destroy somebody. And it paralyzed and crippled me for a very long time. And I'm still trying to work through those things because I buried them. And grief is always like you. I always grieve my children. I will always grieve my children. But I want to be in a space because I still have another child. My son is 13. And for a while there, I felt like that he was missing out on the mother he deserved because I was really just existing. Him and my husband would go to the pool or the park or whatever, and I just didn't want to go. I just wanted to sit on the couch right here where I'm at right now, in a different house, in a different couch, but the same, and I just did not want to participate. It was too painful. Um, and honestly, yes, it was painful, but I didn't even really know what I was experiencing at the time. I just knew I was tired. And then after going to therapy, well, that is a symptom of depression. So let's talk about why you may be depressed. Let's, give you an evaluation. Let's talk about that. And we did. And instead of just, going and getting, don't get me wrong, I have to take medication for my mental health, but I don't rely solely on medication because that's not going to fix it. Nothing's going to fix it. What it'll do, what no, what I needed to do was address the things that I have buried, which is what I'm currently doing. At the same time that I am working on my physical health and fasting and going to the gym because my son didn't drag me to the gym. And I want to make sure this is still on. I done got way off track, y'all, but you know, fasting is so simple, right? So there's only so much in one video that I really want to talk about regarding just fasting alone because I got more content to make about fasting. So we're going to get to other things. I just want to kind of, breeze over things. I wanted to talk to you about fasting with the family. And I think that is okay. I got something else. So I saw this. We're getting back to fasting. I got off track and I think we all have times that hopefully this is relatable to some people when it comes to your mental health and setting boundaries and choosing you and all of those things that you still stick around because we are talking about fasting. We are going to be fasting among other things. But I saw this on, I believe it was, I don't remember his name, but it was a video. And if I find it, I will put a link to his video in the description box. And I apologize. I don't even remember his name. Um, that's the only time I've heard this. Was the title of his video said, "Fast as clean as you can, fast as dirty as you need to." So that's a controversial topic amongst fasting as well. Like, I know some people are hardcore clean fasting, and you're not fasting. If it's not clean, it's not really fasting. You're counting calories or whatever. And to each his own. I'm not judging you for your journey. Try not to judge me for mine because it's not going to change it anyway. I have gotten better, but I would rather fast as dirty as I need to, is what I did starting out, and what I will still do if I need to moving forward. Uh, that looks like having the tablespoon of creamer for 30 calories in my coffee every morning, every morning, even when I'm fasting. Yes, I still have that. I'm not going to drink black coffee. I'm just not. Could I force myself? Yeah, because I did it before and I was not happy. So just like I talked to you about, I went and found a supplement for my caramel ice cream. So guess what? I'm no longer eating the pint of Haagen-Dazs Dolce de Leche. I'm just having for probably $600. Is that a sign? Am I gonna get some money? 600 calories versus 60 calories for that one bar. And that's all I need. And I'm satisfied. So you have to do what works for you. I also, controversial, goes back to clean versus dirty fasting, which is what this topic is about, is whether modified modified alternate day fasting. Like I said, when I first started ADF, that's what I was doing, the modified version. I would have my regular feast day, I would fast, I would stop my fasting app, um, Life Fasting. I'll put the link in the description box so you can hopefully join my circle. But I would have the 500 calories on my fasting day. I felt like I needed that to get through. Like I said, one day I got so busy, I didn't have time to eat. I realized, oh, I can go 36 hours without even the 500 calorie meal. Let's see what that be like. So that's what I'm doing now. I have clean fasted, depending on who you ask. Let's say this. I still have my coffee creamer in the morning. That's what it's gonna be until I decide that I don't want to do that anymore. Um, but I don't have the 500 calorie meal. So that's what works for me. You choose what works for you. And if you want to join, I'm getting ready to end this live. If you want to join my Wednesdays fasting challenge, comment on this live. Um, join the life fasting app to join my circle. You'll find that in a link in any of my videos, and when I get this uploaded, it'll be here as well. And let me tell y'all a funny story. This is not about fasting. Um, well, it has a little bit to do with fasting. So Saturday is my no, I'm sorry, Friday. Friday is my fast day. Remember, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, fast. And my husband and I had tickets to go see Cat Williams this past Friday on April the 12th. And I fasted the majority of the day. And I told him, hey, earlier in the week, are you going to want to go out to dinner or not? Because if so, I need to like switch my days around so that Friday's a feast day. And he was like, no, I want you to stick to your schedule. You do what works for you. I can eat something before we leave for the house. I'm sorry, I'm rocking back and forth, y'all. Hey. You do what works for you, and I will just eat at home. So the day did not go as planned. And so we ended up deciding to eat. We stopped at White Castle because we didn't have time to like sit down at a nice restaurant. We were running behind. So I had, what did I have? I had one double cheeseburger. This is on my fasting day, and I didn't count nothing. So it didn't end up being a fasting day. It ended up being a feast day. So anyway, we stopped. We grabbed our food. We got back on the road to head to the comedy show. And when we got there, we were running late. So we couldn't get in any parking garages. They were all closed. And there were people like had businesses downtown that were, allowing you to park, they charging you to park in their lots. So there was a Chinese restaurant, and the lady was saying, if you want to park here, you park it for the comedy show, $20. And I was like, oh my gosh, we don't have no cash. So we did not think this through at all. Mind you, we ain't been out in forever, because my husband had been sick and in the hospital the majority of the year last year. So he asked her if he could run to the ATM and get some cash and just leave the vehicle there. And she was like, when do you got to stay here? When do you got to stay here? So I was like, I'll stay in the car. He went to get cash. We're already like almost 8 o'clock when the show's getting ready to start. And he calls me and says,
the gas station that he walked to. Now, mind you, the man just had a heart transplant. But he's very like he's a man's man. He's not finna let his wife walk these streets of downtown. Um, he's gonna go get the money. He want me to wait in the car. So he go call me and say, I'm at the ATM at the gas station, but guess what? It's broke. I was like, okay, all right. Like we gonna still count it all joy because I'm not gonna let our night get ruined. We worked too hard and way too long for this night. So he said, I'm gonna walk over to the hotel and see if they have an ATM. So thank God they had an ATM. We paid, uh, and we get to heading towards the Yum Center. So I'm realizing that I made a bad decision with them heels that I had on. And I have a black and white outfit on, and it's in my community tab. I think I posted a picture of him and I for our date night. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is forgot some flip flops, got these heels on, and in some pain already just walking to the Yum Center, which is 3 blocks away. So we get there, and I'm thinking, oh, finally, we get to our seats. Sit down. Feet are hurting the entire time. But I'm telling you, that was the best comedy show. I done seen Cat Williams before, but like that was top tier. Monique was there, Mark Curry was there, Lamont was there performing some old school hits for those of us who are 40 plus. She was doing her thing. Um, who else was there? Tommy Davis was there. Like he had like some top tier comedians with him, and I mean, Cat Williams alone was worth what we paid for our tickets. So I'm like, oh, this is a bonus. So I mean, I laughed so hard, my face was hurting, along with my feet, along with my feet. So I'm like, how are my feet still throbbing? I'm just sitting down. How am I gonna make it up out of here? Because we still got 3 blocks to get back to the car. These are Friday night shenanigans. So we're heading out. Show's over. We're leaving our seats to head out the aisle. Well, my husband never meets a stranger. So he says that it's okay. So there was an altercation getting ready to ensue. Just a few people ahead of us. We hadn't got out there. So there was a lady that was like right where we were trying to get out at. And she was an older woman. And so my husband heard the altercation. Well, him and I both did. And we looked at each other. And he looks at that lady because he never meets a stranger. He's always trying to like carry on a conversation with just random people. Um, and he says, sometimes we got to be patient. I didn't think nothing about it. I heard what he said, but I know my husband well. So I knew what he meant by it. He was talking about the altercation over there. But I've been with this man for 17 years, okay? She don't know him. So so when the line starts moving forward, and she stepped back and allowed him and I to get in the line in front of her, so we can head on up the steps and get up out of her. So when I stepped out, he stepped out first, and when I stepped out, I said, "Oh, thank you." She said, "Mm-hmm." And I thought to myself, "What's wrong with her?" Anyway, okay, I'm just trying to get out of these shoes. I'm just trying to get out of these shoes. So, and one of the comedians, it just made me think about what he said. He was like, if you had a comedy show and you in a bad mood, something's wrong with you. You had the opportunity to laugh. And what if today's your last day on earth? So that situation made me think about what he said. So anyway, she lets us in front of her, but we're still like standing there because like it's just slow moving because it was a packed house. So then she's behind me and she says, tell him I'm being patient. He told me to be patient. So I tapped my husband on the shoulder. I said, Are you starting stuff? But I was just being playful because I thought she was being playful, but she wasn't playing. So he turned around and he was like, ma'am, let me tell you something. And you had to know him. You would have to know him. Like, he was being very kind. I don't know what he was getting ready to say. And, and we'll never know. Because guess what? She said, you ain't got nothing to say to me. You told me to be patient. So go on. He didn't tell her to be patient. He was saying, sometimes we got to be patient, right? Regarding the drama that was ensuing in front of us. Maybe she didn't see it. I don't know. But I know that she thought that he done told her to be patient, and she wasn't happy about it. And she had attitude. uh-uh. No, 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 no. Not today, Satan. Uh-uh. Because we have waited too long for date night. And for this moment to be together and enjoy a space together. So I was like, come on, honey, let's go. And we went on about our business and she went on about hers. And I'm long-winded, y'all. So I'm a storyteller. So anyway, I quickly discovered I'm not going to make it very far in these shoes. So as soon as we got outside, I decided that I was going to take my shoes off and walk barefoot on the streets of downtown Louisville to the car 3 blocks away, because it was much better than walking in them heels, because they were killing me. That was just it. I couldn't. So my husband offered to take his shoes off and let me have them, but he's diabetic. We got to protect your feet. Now, what I did ask him was, maybe I could take your socks. Yeah. Friend. Why did he have on his compression socks? And his calves are much smaller than mine. So that wasn't going to work. So I was like, nope, I'm just going to keep walking barefoot. Well, we realized quickly that I was watching, I think we was a little lost. He used to drive trucks, so he will never admit that he was lost. But he was like, yeah, we need to go this way. When we was going this way, my phone went from 6 minutes away to 7 minutes away. Stop, pause. Something's wrong. We're going in the wrong direction. Mind you, I'm walking barefoot in the streets of downtown Louisville. And thank God I was watching to make sure. I was trying to not step on no glass or worse, but I was desperate. So desperate times call for desperate measures. So that's just what I did. And my feet were burning. And I told my husband, thank God I grew up in the country. So I'm kind of used to walking on rocks. Not kind of. I am used to walking on rocks because my cousin lived across the fence from me. And we would go back and forth to each other's house. And it was just gravel road because we was in the country. So I was built for this. Like, I was made for this. So we stopped. And I tried to put my heel back on because I was like, oh, my feet are burning. I'm just going to walk in these shoes. Lies. I put one heel on and I was like, nope, I can't do it. I'd rather walk barefoot in the streets of downtown Louisville than put these heels back on. So I kept on walking to the car. We got turned around. We finally found it. So all the things between running late, having to go to the ATM to get cash, the smart Alec lady that led us in front of her with the attitude at the end of the comedy show, getting lost, going in the wrong direction, feet toe up. We got in the car, we made it home safely, and we have laughed about it ever since. So it was our Cat Williams Friday night shenanigans and date night. Now I got one more story time, and I promise I'm gonna make this one brief, and then I'm gonna get off the live and post about the fasting challenge. So the reason that this date night was so special, when the tickets for the concert came out for sale, my husband was in the hospital. And I said, Cat Williams is coming. And he was like, you want to go? And I was like, like he hadn't had his heart transplant yet. Like he was on the list, but we had no idea when he was going to get a donor. So what I told him was, we probably shouldn't, because we don't know when you're going to get a donor. And he was like, please get the tickets. Please get the tickets. We're going to have faith that I'm going to be out of the hospital with a heart for us to go to the concert of the comedy show. And he was. How special is that? So that's how special that date night was, because the power of my husband's words, y'all. Like he spoke that and it happened. So it just felt so good that it happened. So when it came to that, in that situation, it was like, we have arrived. This is the moment we have been waiting for. And when nobody, their attitude, their beat down feet, trying to wear heels, nothing was going to ruin that evening for us. It wasn't. So we enjoyed each other. And we will continue to do so. So no matter what tries to stand in our way, we choose joy. We choose joy and love. So, guys, I'm going to get off of here because I did not even know how long I was going to be on here talking. And I haven't had anybody in the chat yet, but that's okay. I'm hoping some people will catch it on the replay, because there's a lot of nuggets in here. And I hope somebody can take something away from it. And I will post about the challenge on my community tab. So make sure you are checking that out. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that we can stay linked up. Come on, friend. Come on, friend. I want us to be a community of people, like-minded people, women, men, whatever, who put their emotional, mental, physical, spiritual health as a priority. So we're going to do the fasting challenge, and I'm going to see y'all next time. If you've made it this far, because I'm sure most of everybody will be watching in the replay, I want to go back to doing weigh-in Wednesdays with you guys, where I was recording myself in my old Weight Watchers videos, weighing in so you can see live, me getting on the scale. So let me know if you'd be interested in me doing that again. If nothing else, I want to share my weight with you every Wednesday for accountability for me, right? So anyway, I love you. I send you peace. I send you joy. I send you you. Choose you. Bye, guys.